Thank you, Corey Adams from Universal Robots, an Automate Education Pavilion sponsor, for joining us to talk about the pavilion and automation education in general. Corey Adams, thank you so much for joining us today to talk about Automate and all of the exciting things around the Education Pavilion. We really appreciate Universal Robots' support of the pavilion this year. What excites you most about the Education Pavilion at Automate this year?
Yeah, so I always get excited about Automate in general because it's just a fun event. And this is the first year that Universal Robots is participating in the Education Pavilion. And I think for us, it really kind of presents a unique opportunity to showcase the latest advancements in automation, technology, and provide valuable educational resources to its attendees. But really what excites me is the most is mainly the potential to inspire and educate individuals and really show them how fun automation is and can be.
Absolutely. And we know at Universal, you are really strong supporters of that education. So tell me a little bit more about Universal Robots and your dedication to supporting education, and especially at Automate this year.
Yeah, so Universal Robots is one of the leaders in collaborative robots, and we started to see a growing trend a lot around 2020, given COVID kind of helped accelerate a lot of those trends. We started to see a breakdown in not just in Universal Robots, but just in automation in general, and a lack of qualified or even knowledgeable employees who have an understanding around automation. I think for us, we wanted to take a little bit of a different approach around automation and not focus necessarily around the products that we offer, but really the competencies and the understanding of what it is to be in automation, or what it is to be an operator or a machinist, or even a robotics technician or integrator, right? And what are those skills, and how can we foster those skills into the next generation workforce? And it wasn't just, and like I said, it wasn't just to highlight the products that UR has, but really highlight the impact that automation can have in the industry, and kind of showing where that skills gap really lies. And it's not necessarily around our products, but it's really around automation as a whole and bringing equipment together.
Well, yeah, and I think it's really probably because of the developing technologies that Universal Robots has created that has made these new opportunities for operators to have these new skills and maybe do jobs that they didn't think that they could do before.
Absolutely.
So who are we talking to? Who should make visiting the Education Pavilion a priority?
Well, I would say anybody who's really interested in education or automation. That's not just, when we look at education, we're not just looking at, 18, 24-year-olds that are attending school. We also want to make sure that we're addressing that current workforce and the needs that they have to still feel confident and successful in their job roles as automation is being adopted into their field. So it's really anybody who's really interested in growing their own learning base. For me, I'm a constant believer of that lifelong learning journey, and automation and technologies will challenge you in that because it moves so quickly. So this is just a great space for you to kind of reach out and be like, how is automation changing not just manufacturing, but also other segments of our life, and how can I learn about how automation is making that impact, and how can I become more relevant in that technology and how it's being used today.
Absolutely. And to add on to that, what specific value or unique opportunities can visitors expect from this event that they won't find elsewhere?
Yeah, I think visiting the Education Pavilion, I think they're going to see a lot of different training solutions. We're looking at training robotics technicians, robotics welders, robotics operators. So they're going to look at all the different training solutions that all the manufacturers have, and through their partners. So I think that's what's going to be very interesting. You're no longer just learning about how do you program a universal robot, but you're learning more about well, how do I work with automation if I'm in the medical field, or if I'm in the semiconductor field, or if I'm in food service, right? What training do I need to have, or what kind of training is available to me when I'm looking at a space or going to work in a career outside of just manufacturing?
Absolutely. And I know from my experience last year at Automate, it's so unique that we have, all the universities there. If you want to go that route and become an engineer or, some other field that requires a degree like that, we also have, all of you guys, we have industry there. And so whether you're going to get that degree or you just need a certificate or you just need, some training program, all of the options that are available to you are kind of just all right there. So
Absolutely.
we're excited about that. Why is focusing on automation education so significant for universal robots in today's workforce landscape?
Yeah, I think it's not just important to universal robots, but I believe automation education, from our standpoint, from universal robots, is because it really helps address that growing demand for that skilled automation professional that we see in today's workforce. So really by investing in education and training programs, we can really start to empower those individuals with the knowledge and skills to truthfully succeed in, like what I said, a rapidly evolving field of robotics and operation.
What do you want the educators to know to be able to communicate to their students? What advice would you give them when talking to that younger generation about their potential future working in automation?
Yeah, I think when you're talking to students and educators about the potentials of working in the field of automation, I think it's very different. And trying to express this to a teacher and to a student is somewhat difficult. So I try to look at it in the way that we look at it from my generation. We looked at it from a point of where did my father work or where did my grandfather work, right? That was a lot of times in manufacturing. When we look at how technology has kind of transformed the way that we work, the way that we do business, the way that we can even earn an income. It's really looking at all those different aspects. Automation isn't just robotics. It's not just PLCs. It's really bringing things together like robotics, like PLCs, like AI, and bringing those together. So for me, talking to an educator, I really want them to express to their students that this is more than just a dull, dirty, dangerous, but this is a growing trend where the market is going. There's going to be future jobs in this field that, they're going to have a great opportunity to build a career or even businesses off.
As we mentioned, you've been in this game for some time now. So do you have an example that you would like to share of a successful initiative at Universal Robots that has positively affected students' understanding of automation?
Yeah, I think when I look at what Universal Robots has done in the world of education is we've made it very easy for individuals to gain access to information around robotics and education. And I would say that was probably one of the bigger initiatives that Universal Robot took on in 2020. So we provided, an academy website with a lot of free online e-learning for students to take just to see and get a flavor for what robotics and automation is. And you can finalize that with certifications or credentialing. Universal Robots is looking to kind of expand what those job roles are. How do we focus on those job-specific roles for education and training? What's it take to be a robotics welder or robotics machinist? So we're really looking at what are also those job roles that we can focus on to help provide some level of understanding and training to the individual to help them land that job. That's what's really important.
So, all right, let's talk a little bit about us and our relationship, A3 and Universal. How crucial is that collaboration between everyone? Let's say the educational institutions, industry, and then, obviously A3.
Collaboration between educational institutions, industry associations like A3 and industry leaders is really crucial when you're talking about shaping automation education, because it takes all of our buy-in to kind of make this movement. And truthfully, by working together, we can develop curriculum standards, we can share best practices, and provide students with the access to the latest technologies and training resources. And that's really to ensure that they have the equipment, or not just the equipment, but also the content to meet meet the demands of that future workforce.
Absolutely, because we all have the same goal. So why not work together?
That's right. That's right. That's right.
In your opinion, what are some of the upcoming trends or changes we can expect to see in automation education, and how might these changes impact educators, students, industry? You already mentioned AI, but can you dive into that a little bit more?
Yeah, I think some emerging trends that we see around education and training, outside of just AI, we've also looked at how augmented reality could play an impact, and we're starting to see that happen in the near future. Particularly the adoption of cutting edge technologies. When we look at machine learning, I think it's starting to make a little bit of a presence within education. And that shift will lead to more specialized job roles with a focus on those tasks, those individual tasks. Additionally, students can expect to engage in more practical hands-on learning applications, which is what we're trying to bring to the student. And then on the educator side, I think a lot of these changes means the necessity to stay ahead of a lot of those technology trends, but also those teaching techniques as well. Students, on the other hand, will benefit from an enhanced opportunity, I believe, to acquire those new skill sets and progress in their careers as they move forward. And then when we look at companies, they're really going to ensure a steady supply of competent professionals to really fill the evolving demands of that workforce.
Absolutely. Well said. So just to wrap things up here, let's just talk a little bit about Automate, big picture. It's, the biggest automation trade show in North America. What do you love about coming to Automate, and why are you excited about being there in Chicago this year?
Yeah, well, one, Chicago is a great city to visit. It's always fun and exciting and very busy, which is a good thing. But for me, I would say I'm looking forward to, kind of networking. We're talking to those industry peers, attending some of those keynote presentations and panel discussions. I think are very valuable. And then, I think what's just great about the Automate show is the ability to walk through and just see a lot of the latest technologies coming to the market, along with solutions, AI, bringing those together, and how they display those at Automate in 2024. I think is really going to be exciting. And then it's always exciting for the opportunity to gain those new insights while walking the show. And kind of lean into those trends and connect with those colleagues in the field.
Absolutely. Well, this has been so wonderful. We, again, thank you so much, and everyone at Universal Robots, for your support of A3 and Automate and the Education Pavilion. We're really excited to, be partnered with you guys. So appreciate your time so much today.
Absolutely. Excited to be there.
You can see Universal Robots and so many more amazing companies at the Education Pavilion at Automate 2024. Register for free today.